What, you expect me to say something first? All right. Hey, Josh. Pretzels. It was not out of nowhere. Most shiny object is Yogi's head. Where that stuck like a bagel. One of my favorites. Old damn pie. I like that one too. And back said Cats for Nelson. You ought to do a channel of just quotes. You ought to do a video of just quotes. Josh says, how's everyone doing today? Good, Josh. How are you? Renee is totally not gay. Good to know yourself. Josh says, so this is Yogi. It is. Renee says, cool. He has a shiny head. Much like Rudolph's nose. The most shiny object is Yogi's head. So says Josh. I bet you there's shiny objects, though. Renee says, my Sour Patch Kids are deformed. Can you get your money back? Currently watching 4 streams. Who else are you watching? Renee says, I slept earlier last night than I thought. You slept earlier. Renee says, 11 p.m. Man, 11 p.m. 11 p.m. I've been asleep for 4 hours by then, or thereabouts. Josh says, I'm crazy. Oh, yeah. We've known that for a while, Josh. It's not news to us. Flashbacks to what? Renee says, answer my question. What was your question? Renee, all she wanted to do was eat her Sour Patch Kids. I think that's probably still a possibility. Renee says she's going to draw because you're bored. Yeah, I don't blame you. Hi, Anna. Anna, how are you? Hey, Cat. Cat says, hello, room. It's hot out for you, Cat. Hello, late person, whenever you get here. Surely we're not referring to me. Can't be referring to me. How was your day, Cat? Jess says she wants her Sour Patch Kids. Well, he doesn't. Crazy little woman, says Josh. Cat says, I don't know what Shirley has to do with it. Shirley has everything to do with it. Anna says, I'm good, Yogi. Thank you. How are you? I'm good. I did not go outside for my 3rd walk. I did walk, but I didn't go outside. I did the Wayne S. McCarty Memorial track, which I've told you about. The track I used to do with my dad when he could no longer go outside, and I would help him walk. It is from the living room through the kitchen, down the hall, back to the living room. It is not far, but I walk it over and over again. Josh says, let me emphasize on the little. Feel free. I'm all for emphasizing. I would never deny anyone the right to emphasize. What's up, Sniper? Sniper says, greetings, beautiful souls. Cat, what do you want to talk about? Anna, Sniper, what do you guys want to talk about? Throw a subject out there. I know what Josh wants to talk about. He wants to talk about, what was it? Sour Patch Kids? I don't believe I ever have a Sour Patch Kid before. Tell your sister to behave, Renee. Josh, it would be a short subject on my end. Lady Sky said hi. Thank you, Lady Sky. Josh wants to talk about toasters. You want to talk about toaster, just one specific one, like mine? Here's another thing. Not to piggyback on the spatula conversation, I don't believe I've ever bought a toaster, and yet here I am owning a toaster. Isn't life fascinating? How did I get any of the stuff that I have? Sniper says, could talk about the Cabbage Patch Kids and the World's Fair with the baby incubators. That would be another short subject. What actually is a Cabbage Patch Kid? Are they related to Sour Patch Kids? Weren't they like trading cards or something? What was a baby incubator, Sniper? Did I know? Why is that ringing a bell? Josh is chanting for toasters. Sniper says bread. I generally appreciate random conversations. This is random even to me. So, big shout out to Cat and Jack. Thank you for that little bit of support and backup when I was wondering about possibilities, wondering about my channel direction. Again, possibilities. I'm never not inspired, and inspiration goes a long way. But every once in a while, you want to ask someone, does it seem like we're on the right course? You guys heard me quote the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali. And let me ask you guys a serious question. The direction of the channel. What do you think of the direction of the channel? It is rather random. We never know what we're going to talk about. I mentioned earlier today about singing. Why? Why are all of a sudden we singing? Someone came in late last night and asked Toy Pups. So I guess their first time visiting. So is this maybe not first time? Hey, Maddie's World. So is this a singing channel now? And of course, her answer was no. We're just having fun. Will never be a singing channel, but it's definitely going to be a channel that encourages singing when you feel inspired to sing. So maybe we can just consider it a channel that encourages inspiration, whatever it might be for you. And what is it for you? What is it for you, Anna? Anna, what really inspires you? I think we can guess what inspires Sniper. For one, having a curious mind. Two, being in nature, connecting on a really deep, sincere level. Sniper's got the soul of a shaman. Kat says, I appreciate all the singing, but it goes from a nice calm tone to really loud. And it's really loud. And it's really loud, and I've been very sensitive lately. I'm sorry, Kat. What can we do? What kind of warning can we give? I want everyone to feel comfortable here. I want everyone to contribute. Hey, Carl. And most certainly, I almost said most surely, but I already got reprimanded once for invoking Shirley. Most certainly, I can't get in trouble for that. I want Kat to be comfortable here. You guys are essential, every single one of you. Snipper says the first known combination of a baby incubator and a World's Fair display was at 1896 Berlin Industrial Exposition. Stepper says, "Hey, Carl." The exhibit was arranged by Dr. Pierre Boudin, a French physician who had been conducting successful research with incubators since 1888. Carl says, "Man, I just came back from the farm. Do you see any foxes?" So I was talking about the Bhagavad Gita, as well as the Legend of Bagger Vance. Because the Legend of Bagger Vance, again, skip the movie, read the book. The book is an allegory for the Bhagavad Gita, and it is about Arjuna, who is, again, metaphorically, Arjuna, the protagonist of the Bhagavad Gita, talking to Krishna on a battlefield. In the book, it takes place on a golf course, and Arjuna is a troubled World War I vet who can no longer play golf, but he's searching for his authentic swing, which is a metaphor for the Atman, which is soul. So I was talking about using singing for me to find my authentic voice. Authentic voice isn't necessarily a voice that sounds good. It's not necessarily even a pleasant singing voice, but it means it's a voice that comes from that place of sheer joy, connectiveness within all of us. Kat says, "I think it's totally a problem, but when it gets too loud, I check out for a little while, but I always come back." A me problem. I'm going to disagree, Kat. If you don't mind, respectfully so, I'm going to disagree. There is no such thing as a you problem that does not include me. If something bothers you, I want to fix it. Well, maybe not fix it. I don't know what I'm saying. But, and that's for everyone. I have a good friend who no longer comes to the channel because too many triggers were hit. I couldn't help that at all. But maybe we could find some type of, I don't know, warning. Let's just say we'll work it out together. We'll figure a way. I appreciate you guys. Josh says, "Cries and bisexual furry? Furry or fury?" Shirley says, "I just saw what Kat said, and thank you, Kat." Well, Shirley, I asked for feedback, and I got some very useful feedback from Kat. And Shirley, I'd appreciate your feedback as well. Same with Anna and Squirrel Sniper. I'm sure Josh has an opinion. Josh has an opinion about everything. Furry, not fury. You know that foxes eat grapes? I did know that foxes eat grapes all the way back from Aesop's Fables, which I have a book, Aesop's Fable. Someone bought for me. I have no idea why, other than she said, older friend of mine. She was at like a flea market or garage sale, and she saw it and she thought, "I'm going to buy this for Eric." But there's awesome gifts. Spur of the moment, I saw this and it made me think of you for whatever reason, and I bought it. Anna says hi to Shirley. Shirley says, "I don't even know the question. Just got here, but I knew that I agree with Kat. I have to do the same." Gotcha. Oh, the question was the channel, the direction of the channel. Is there anything you guys want to see more of, with the exception of burpees? I know I'm just a yogi doing burpees in his basement. I still do burpees every day. Mainly they're just to warm up or on my in-between kettlebell workouts. Do you like the direction that we're going? Is there a direction you'd like to take it? We've pivoted quite a bit over the year that I've been monetized. The direction is left. Oh, yeah. The direction is always left. If you keep going left long enough, eventually you'll be right. Sorry. Shirley says sometimes your channel seems to me to get hijacked, but I keep telling myself it's Yogi's channel. You are not the first one to mention that, Shirley. I appreciate everything you just said, and that in everything in that sentence. I appreciate everything that you said, Shirley. I haven't quite figured everything out. To wanting to provide a place for everyone, wanting to provide. I'm sorry you're crying mentally. Maybe better if you actually cry, physical tears. If you think about it, you go right long enough, you'll go left. I don't know if it works that way. We're sticking with my thought. Simple says through bushes and through briar, follow that sweet lyre, or of hill, of dill, or bush, or briar, of wood, of water everywhere. So for a while, we were holding at a 5 minute, coming up for 5 minutes. Unless you have something um, that's like really important that you're just bursting to share, or it's like Thursday is Cat and Jack. We have a vineyard, and those foxes have been living there for several years. Hey, that's pretty cool. How's the winemaking business, Carl? Shirley says, I think Jason's idea of a 5 minute limit is wise. I agree. I wonder if I bumped it up to 10. I did that for all through last summer, all the way up until like last winter. Shirley says, oh, well, that's different, not just because it's cat, but because we have advanced knowledge. True. Good point. Shakespeare, Eric. Thank you. I did not catch that, Sniper. I appreciate that. If you think about it, if you go backwards enough, you'll go forward. Nope, I don't think that works either. The urge to say an insult is only making me want to hit my head on the wall. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather you go ahead and insult than hit your head on the wall. I bet you I could take an insult better than you could take a hit on the wall. Josh says, I agree with Josh. No hitting the head on the wall. Hey, Abigail. Abigail, how are you? Anna says hi to Abigail. Renee says, fine, I won't. Good. Kat says, hey, Yogi, I love you. Hey, Kat, I love you too. Thank you. Sometimes people think saying thank you when someone says I love you is like an odd thing, but it's totally logical, isn't it? Is there anything in the world that you need to be more grateful for than someone loving you? He says, "Oh, sorry, Anna, I was busy giving my opinion, and it's much appreciated." Zephyr says, "Has anyone heard this song before?" and drops a link. I'll check it out after the live stream. Shirley says, "I've been holding it in for fear." Hey, Shirley, you're a valuable part of our community. And even more importantly, you're a valuable friend. Um, yeah, never feel free. Never feel free. Never feel afraid to let me know what you think. I'm feeling things out. You know what I mean? Um, you want to be accessible at the same time. You got to stick to specific principles that you have in mind. I think most of all, I think of this as a healing channel, a place where people can go to heal. Um, and I think every rule should be made an exception certain times. That's sticks an insult, Renee. I don't care. I'm already not even affected by getting bullied. I never understood why would somebody bully someone for being a furry? Why would anyone bully anyone for any reason whatsoever? Josh says, "Loves yous, Yogi." Thank you, Josh. I loves you. I love yous too. Julie says, "Sniper." I also have it up for right after this. Thank you. Josh doesn't care. He's not bothered. Julie says, "No, no, no. I would never want to hurt anyone's feelings. You have people with very fragile feelings. This is true. Um, it's true, but that doesn't mean that your input isn't important as well. Josh says because it's considered weird. That's a good thing. 2025. Shouldn't we return to saluting the weird? Think how much we've survived by the year 2025. Think in the last, man, as long as I've been alive. What happened to the what happened to the hippies? How come we don't have a lot of old hippies anymore? Hey, Willa. Willa, how are you? That works, Shirley. I appreciate that. Shirley says, "Well, I will email you with opinions uh, that should be kept from the fragile ones, okay? Deal. Hey, I need to email you anyway because Reaper has a question about what I forwarded to him from you." Cat says, "Hi, Willow." Julie says, "Wait a minute. I am an old hippie." Well, that makes me feel good. Thank you. Awesome. A lot of the hippies grew up to be yuppies, you know, just chasing putting those dreams behind them. Dreams of peace. I'm a young hippie aging. Cat says, "I probably would have been a hippie if I was born at the right time." I was a late blooming hippie, of course, 1980s, following the Grateful Dead. Um, I always related a bit more. I think I was 13 and I read Thomas Wolfe's The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, which was about Ken Kesey, the writer of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, driving his bus, his Dayglow bus, across country to hang out with Timothy Leary. And it was basically the birth of the hippie movement. Precursor. and that had me hooked. And the house band for that bus was the Grateful Dead, and I ended up just happened when I finished that, the Grateful Dead were playing in my hometown. I went to see them, and for much of the '80s, all of the '80s, much of the '90s, I was a Deadhead. Me too, Sniper. We've talked about that before. Fun times with my friend Larry, who was my best friend in high school, no longer with me. Hey, Sissy. Willow, how are you? Anyway, I always resonated with the Beat generation, the Jack Kerouacs, Neil Cassidy, uh, listening to jazz, drinking wine, hitchhiking. Shirley says, "Oh God, Sniper, me too." They were hugely funny. I watched some clips. Actually, it was Sniper who sent me a clip. What was that, like 2 or 3 months ago, Sniper? Evan says, you take mushrooms and fly to a super galactic reality. You are half correct. What's up, Evan? Girl says, that kind of makes me feel bad because we're a bully myself. So you saying you were bullied or you bullied people? Honey says, I'm pretty sure I'm a bit too young to be considered a hippie. But here's the thing. I think hippie, of course it does. Thank you, Sniper. Sniper's been a member for 7 months. And that's much appreciated. That's a long time. Um, you know, hippie's a state of heart, not refined to just one generation. Shirley says, Mark, you're gonna love this cat. Hey, Mark. Uh, Mark says, slow chat, Shidoshi and Shirley. Mark, how are you? Mark, Jason and I were talking about you yesterday. He was talking about competing, holding you up as an ideal. I really found it interesting that you're thinking about stepping on stage. Again, Honey says, I've been known to hug a tree or two in my time. Still do. I have hands-on trees. Um, Never the same tree. Well, sometimes it's the same tree, but it's always intuitive when I'm out walking in the morning. Which tree sort of calls me to just gently put my hands on and exchange energy. Gravity Core Fitness says, we are good. I'm glad to hear that. Guys, if you want to be in a little font of fitness knowledge, as well as just have a good time hanging out with high quality people with excellent sense of humor. And speaking of singing, Joe has an excellent singing voice, beautiful singing voice. Gravity Core Fitness is the place to be. You can go, you can ask a fitness question, or you can just hang out and listen to Mark and Joe talk. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, All Dog. All Dog says, yo, bros. Trees plant flowers, even a blade of grass. Trees plants flowers, even a blade of grass. Yes. There's we've talked a bit about grounding. Getting out. Renee's going to be right back. Getting out in bare feet. Feet in the grass, feet in the mud, feet in the dirt, feet in the field. It's funny thinking about weeds. Once something is labeled a weed, it's of no use to anyone. But think about all the things you can do with a dandelion. Carl says, trying to be a funny guy by making fun of others. Got you. Hey, Carl, you think that was a form of preemptive self-defense? If you made fun of other people before they made fun of you? What do you think made you do that? What was your motivation for doing that? And hey, Carl, there's no judgment at all. Just friends talking. And I'll tell you, every time you've come in here, been nothing but a good guy. Nothing but a friend to everyone. Eldog says, yo, Anna, and yo, Rebecca, bro. Oops. Supplement time, guys. Mark says, maybe one more time. Not definitely. Maybe, though. Hey, so what would be the thing that would most make you want to do it, and what would be the thing that would deter you from doing it? Dieting, maybe? Dieting can't get any easier as we get older. Rebecca says, hey to Mark. Hi to Sniper. Hit the like. Thank you, L-Dog. Even the roots, Eric. Agreed. Hey, Eric Lapointe. Eric Lapointe says, hey, Yogi, did you know that dandelions aren't native to the Americas? I didn't know that. Wow. Where are they native to Europe, I guess? Take my supplement, guys. The things that Eric Lapointe knows. The things that Eric Lapointe and Squirrel Sniper know. Never ceases to amaze me. Hey, VJ. VJ said hi. Appreciate that. Rebecca says hi to Shirley with a cowboy hat. VJ says Anna Hea. Shirley says leave it up to LP to know that. I agree, Shirley. That's definitely an Eric Lapointe piece of wisdom dropping. Carl says I just wanted some attention and wanted to be friends with cool guys. How did you get out of that, Carl? How did you shift that perspective? 20 likes. Awesome. Thank you, Anna. Rebecca says, how are you, Yogi? I'm good, Rebecca. Eric's saying hi to everyone. VJ says, called because of the shape of the leaves. What do you mean, VJ? Hey, Kajay. How are you, my friend? Says, what's up? Nice to see you. William? I don't know why I just seen William gave me a big smile. But it did. Very spontaneous. It just, man, I felt a really big sense of love seeing William Hart come in. Thank you, William. Thanks for being here. Cypher says another Belurus. They were brought over for medicinal use. They are good medicine. Shirley says my grandma made dandelion wine for sure. Hey Duncan, I used to drink dandelion tea on occasion. It's good for the kidneys. Mark says dieting easy, it's a stress. Puts on mental health. And to be honest, it's a selfish process. If in a relationship, it can be very frustrating, very challenging on the body. I can see that. And hey, what no wonder you're hesitant. I appreciate you putting your relationship in the forefront on that. Mark, that tells me like almost every good thing I need to know about you. Well, that and the fact that you love animals. And of course, the evident love that you have for Joe. VJ says, Vince the Lion. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Hey, thank you for that. Eldog says, make fun of people to make them laugh. I suspect you probably do it in a good-natured, like gentle manner. Carl says, I think I'm still there. Carl, I've never seen it here before. Duncan, how are you, my friend? Duncan says, just a quick visit. How's Stitch's progress? I haven't seen Stitch in maybe 2 days, Duncan. The last we talked, though, she's still determined. Carl says, it's just that I haven't had the opportunity to make fun of others for a while. Hey, is that something that you still want to continue, though? Zephyr says, greetings to William Hart. And L Dog says, surely it's nice wine, Dandelion and Burdock. Never been a big wine fan. And to be honest, it's time. Time to retire for good. Heavy moves, heavy metals, Eric, deep cleaning. Yeah, I've heard that, Sniper. It's actually good. Uh, Diuretic as well. And it says, hi, Monkey Man Productions. I'm glad you said that because I miss Monkey Man. There he is. Good evening, Legends. Good evening, Monkey Man. I miss your live streams. I need to be on the lookout better. William says, I wish I could give myself the feeling you felt seeing me, but I've really been happy with myself. You could, William. The feeling I got when I saw your name pop up was invoked by you, which means you have that. You have every single quality that brought that joy to my heart. You do. It's amazing to consider, William. Just your presence, the fact that I've known you for over a year now, the fact that I've met you face to face and we took a walk together, and I tried to force bananas and water upon you. Um, you invoke that sheer joy of you hopping up, seeing your name. What's that tell you about yourself, William? Why could you do that? How could you do that for me? I didn't have to do anything except see your name, and it brought up all the ways I feel about you. Again, I wish I could convince you that that is you. L Dog says, "Can you eat dandelion raw picked?" Yeah, you can. Well, I don't know about the flour, but you can make a salad out of the greens. Dandelion greens are actually really good for you. Let's see. Mark says, "Got to go, Yogi. Apologies for the short stay. That's okay. Always a pleasure. Your streams are awesome. Always inviting. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate you hanging out with us." Rebecca says, Yogi, have you tried mushy peas yet? I have not tried mushy peas yet. I haven't had peas since I've been able to make a choice about what I was going to eat, mushed or otherwise. I'm not saying it's never going to happen, though. You guys have convinced me to do some pretty strange things. I'm sure that's going to continue. Except it says dandelion's direct role in chelating or actively removing specific heavy metals from the body, increase your urinating more, getting rid of toxins. The old wife still, you pick a dandelion, you wet your bed. That I didn't know. Except it says, yep, L Dog, but best washed. Agreed. William says, that, like the others, I'm too desperately giving others what I want for myself. Hey, The best way to get something is to give it to William. That is an adage found in virtually every spiritual tradition, including A Course in Miracles. Eldog says no way to leaves. Yep. I think they're the best part. But just know that everything you're giving away is meant for you, William. That's the trick. Keep giving that to other people, but know it's also meant for you. You can't leave yourself off of the giving. Eric says, Squirrel Sniper, is that why I read Wet the Bed as a kid? Hey, Eric Lapointe, let's go ahead and go with that. Let's give you that out, okay? I'm not gonna take that away from you, Eric Lapointe. Grows everywhere. Can you eat too much? You can probably eat too much of almost anything, but it's really hard to get too many greens. So low in calories. They're so good for you. But I believe with the flour itself, probably so. Especially considering what Sniper was saying, it's a diuretic. So diuretic, am I saying that right? Could definitely. I think if you ate too many of the flours, it could lead to dehydration. Dandelion's gotta watch out. I'm gonna eat them. Hey, L-Dog, make a salad of the leaves and let us know what you think. Eric Point says you can eat the roots like carrots also. So that settled it. When the apocalypse hit, I'm joining the Point family. I think maybe I'd have to change my first name. I don't know if there can be two Eric Lapointes. But yes, when the apocalypse hits, I'm hanging out with Eric Lapointe. Eating roadkill dill, and roadkill deer, and dandelion roots. Sounds like a pretty good recipe. Carl says, I don't know, man. I don't like being a bully, but this is my way of making my friend happy. You ever ask your friend, does it make him happy? You ever have a heart-to-heart conversation with your friend? Is this making you happy? Are you truly happy? Can anyone ever be truly happy making fun of someone? I can give you the answer right off the bat. They can believe they're happy, but they're not. Not true happiness. It's based upon a condition. And you already feel bad. I think that's pretty obvious. Otherwise, you wouldn't be questioning it. Type says like anything in moderation. Let's see. Duncan says monkey. William says, should I give everyone about my self-love? You think that's 100% true? You can't give anyone love unless you have love. You can't leave yourself out of the equation because you are part of the equation. Shirley said the idea of moderation was from Socrates too, wasn't it, Sniper? The quote won't come to me. Eldog says, I'll take a pic of it, Eric, for you. Awesome. Hey, Kamari, how are you? Happy Sunday to you. Dundee is back. Well, hello there, howdy McBody. Eric Point says, deal. I don't know what I could bring, Eric Point. I don't know what I could bring. I could carry stuff. Shirley says Dan would be a great companion in that situation too. Yeah, Dan would. I think between Dan and Eric Lapointe, they could like rig every electrical instrument. I believe Eric Lapointe could make an actual telephone out of coconuts and get Gilligan and all the rest off of the island. Professor came really close, but he never quite was able to do it. I think Eric Lapointe could do it. Sniper says, all things in moderation, including moderation, Shirley, but I prefer Oscar Wilde. Carl says, but they laugh. Hey, you ever laugh at something that you didn't think was funny, but all your friends were laughing as well? It's sort of a hollow laugh. Just because someone is laughing doesn't mean it's a genuine laugh that comes from the heart, comes from the soul. Laughter at anyone's expense is never true laughter. Because you never know when it's going to turn on you. And there's always that possibility. If you didn't know who you know, that could just as easily be you, Carl. Imagine if it was your brother. Imagine your parents at that age, if that was them. By nature, we're empathetic beings. But we can lose that sense of empathy because it's been devalued. This isn't political, but I'm going to mention a name that's associated with politics. Elon Musk said he thinks the biggest flaw in Western civilization is empathy. That's our secret weapon, guys. We're supposed to be empathetic. We're empathetic by nature. Our nature is to care. We were given, hey, even if you're not Christian, it's still a good adage to go by. We were given explicit directions, the least among us. To love the least among us. Poorest of the poor. He says, sometimes you're so stinking funny, Yogi. I stumble upon it sometimes. Eric Point says, you bring breath work and understanding to the table. I'll bring everything else. That's a deal. I'm in. I'll be the official Lapointe shaman. Odak says it could help them cope with the condition. What do you mean, L-Dog? Probably Shirley. Probably only a handful of people got the Gilligan's Island reference. Eric Point says, Dundee is actually true. Let me make it easier here for Marlon. He should have been modded up already. I've been sleeping on the job. Odak says, if you can give it, you got to take it. In that case, what would be the point of giving it, though? Here's the thing, I can take it quite well. I think those who've been around, I've gotten everything thrown at me. And I've had some of the best. And for a while there was the point, you remember Red Flag showing up virtually every day and telling me to eat a steak. And he'd show up and say, this guy again? What's this guy doing here? Which always made me laugh because, it's my live stream. And he was one of the more pleasant ones, actually. I can take it as good as anyone. I can take it better than anyone. Not a single thing anyone can throw at me. Personally. Which is why I'd always tell people you never feel like you need to get rid of somebody for my account. For everyone else's account, sure. For my account, no, I'm fine with it. But anyway, yeah, I can take it. I don't ever want to give it out, and I never will, ever. Nor will I. The only thing that would get anyone ever banned here is if you're picking on someone, most especially if you're picking on the most vulnerable here. Shirley says, "Okay, thank you for this. I've been watching too much news. It's easy to get caught up in that, isn't it, Shirley? I know Kat talked a while back how she stepped outside of it. I'm on the edge. Sometimes I teeter and then I quickly retreat. I want to stay abreast, but I don't want to get caught up into it. 35 subs. Nice. I appreciate that. Oh, 35 subs for a Dundee. 15 more so you can do live. I need to double check and make sure that I'm subscribed to you. You're going to have two more coming up, Marlon. Hey, you want to hear something wild? I got a text from my sister. Her husband's getting paid $800 a week to drive around a car with a Dr. Pepper banner on it. That's it. What a nice gig that is. I wonder if I wore a Dr. Pepper banner, they would pay me $800 a week. Auto says, surely news can be negative, um, can feed the dark side of you. I agreed. It can definitely feed the dark side. Eric Point says, all dog facts. Oh, if you can give it, you got to take it. Another good reason not to give it. Anna says she's subscribed to Dundee. Carl says, take care and good night. Good night, Carl. Hey, thanks for sharing that story. L Dog says, Eric, my mom had cancer. We would joke she was the builder when she lost her hair. It really helped her laugh. See, that's different though. L Dog, you know what I mean? That's not bullying. That's joking out of love. I can understand that. It's the same sniper. I already know what's going to happen. But yes, news media preys on fear. So, Marlon, you should be at 38 now, I think. Marlon says, thanks, Yogi. All right. Eric, some people make jokes out of me. Mark is funny with it. Again, that's different, though. Mark's not a bully. Mark isn't bullying you. That type of, a gentle joke versus mean spirited. It's here's something Sniper would add in. It's about intent. What's the intent behind the joke? For Mark, it's to make you laugh. For you and your mom, it was to diffuse the situation of your mom's suffering, to make her laugh and smile. That's the opposite of bullying. That's actually an expression of love. But imagine this if someone else was suffering the same thing your mom was, and you didn't know him, would you make that same joke? You see the difference with intent? Now, if you got to know him and you thought that a gentle joke would make him smile and maybe alleviate some of the suffering, bring some joy to him, again, it's a whole different intent. Type says surely northeast, west, south news covers with a blanket of fear. Type says I've often wondered if eating the animal flesh is this dismissed practice of reforming the contract with Bao. I don't know. Shirley says goodnight, Carl. Type says William Hart. Bell wanted one thing, and only one thing, and it's nothing to do with animals. Anna says, thank you, Carl. Good night. Everyone says, L Dog, I have what you may call a troll named Cabbage following me now, but untrollable. They're just playing a losing game when it comes to reactions. I can see that, Eric. For me, how can anyone troll Eric Lapointe? Is there a better natured guy on all of YouTube? Is there a more caring guy? Why troll him? But hey, it's a way of exchanging energy. Shirley says it's my job to know what danger might come to Nick direction, so I watch everything. I can understand that, Shirley. Shirley, maybe we should practice some grounding, some breath grounding, to help you be observant and watch what you need to watch, but not absorb that energy, not absorb the negative energy. Watchful, vigilant, but at peace. William's turning in for the night. Night, Jill. Good night, William. Oh, I saw you talk about that. The guy said burpees are for girls. I'm now friends with him. William says, I need some help. Won't say for loving. I'm just scared and can use some breath work. You got it, Willa. Odog says, Eric Lapointe. I think he needs support. He's going through tough times at the moment, and he don't look happy. I'm waiting till he reaches out for love. Kat says, is that for real? Eric Point says, surely we have you and Nick's back. Absolutely. Dog says, my support. Eric, me, and him, we're good. Stepper says, Carl, if he had the three gates, what kind of conversation would you have? That's a good question, Sniper. LP says, damn it, you made me cry again. We're going to be on it in just a minute, Willow. The point is sending some love to Shirley. Hey, nature guy. Dog says, Eric, I see the difference now. Won't joke about something that's serious. Yeah, it's really subtle, isn't it? We can do the same thing but with different intent and get different consequences. It's a good realization, Eldon. She says sometime we'll ask you what picture you saw. Eric Point says, you're part of the Brotherhood, Shirley. I'm gonna have to be the guy holding back Leo and Reaper. L-Dog says it's never nice to be negative. So, L-Dog, we talk quite a bit about the three gates. It's a Zen expression. Before anything is said, it's just a way of being mindful. It's an instant meditation. Before anything is said, let it pass three gates. Is it true? And it has to be considered. It's not something that you want to shrug off. It's not, do you wish it's true? Or you would like it to be true? Or you think it's true? Do you absolutely know for 100% certainty that it is true? And if it is, and you know for sure, hey, Dan, then it passes the first gate. Second gate, is it necessary? Does this really need to be said? And again, it's not about having an opinion. It's not saying, well, my opinion is it needs to be said. Is it a benefit? Not is it your opinion that it's a benefit. Because, man, we're bursting at the gate. We really, really, really want to say this. So, where the ego is saying, but it is necessary. Just because it's necessary for you doesn't mean it's actually necessary. But if it is necessary, passes that second gate. Or let's say that it isn't true and it isn't necessary, but it passes those gates. We get to the last one, my favorite one, maybe the most important one. Is it kind? Is what you're about to say kind? If it's passed through all those three gates, proceed. There's some there's some amongst us who say, damn gates, but secretly they appreciate those gates. Hey, Castle. Castle, it's been a while, my friend. Castle says, say, Eric, nice to see you. Hey, how have you been? Willis says, I meant to say that I won't stay for long, but can't spell. Best at the moment. I'm not okay. I haven't seen Castle's new channel, but let's make it easier for other people to see Castle's channel. I haven't actually seen Castle in a while. I'm going to bring it up so we can explore it. We're going to do some breath work real quick for our friend Willow. Castle says, I've got the short video method down. L-Dog says, has he got a fortified mind? I can't break it down and help. Sissy says, Shirley, I think we may be outnumbered. You're welcome, Willow. Zipper says, who's drunk? L-Dog says, Eric, you're incredible. If we're talking about Eric LaPointe, I'm going to agree. Kat says, Kat says off. Kat don't love Gates, but she loves her yogi. But she appreciates the Gates. Castle says, I've been busy with work and summer here. I'm glad you took the time to stop by, Castle. All right. L-Dog says, nah, Yogi is incredible. Eric LaPointe, his second. Well, I like to think that, I'm the Eric LaPointe of minus the technical skills that he possesses. I'm the Eric LaPointe of the yogic world. Let's see. Maddie's here. Mr. Yogi, my friend. How are you, Maddie? Maddie, I'm glad I have some time to sit around the table with you. So, give me about 2 minutes, guys. Keep talking. But for those who want to do breath work, I'm going to do some breath work with Willow. If anyone else wants to join in, please do. We're going to do a very, very simple breath. We're going to breathe in for 5. We're going to exhale for 5. A little bit longer. Very often we do 4 by 4. Today we're going to do 5 by 5. Maddie says he's good. Thank you. How are you? I'm good, Maddie. Willow, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Eldog says Eric Lapointe's got a strong body. He smashes those push-ups. Yeah, he does. He does. Eric Lapointe stepped up with the burpees out of nowhere. I don't think I'm remembering incorrectly. Did you know that Eric Lapointe was voted the most athletic in high school? Did I get that right, Eric? So, Willow, just give me the thumbs up and we'll get started. See, he's got a tree farm. Yep. Julie says, I thought he was the most handsome. That could be true. Eldog says he gave a nature room to live. Maddie says, Shirley, hi. Hey, Will, are you still with us? Eric Point says, hey to Maddie. Castle. I'm giving a quick one run through on your channel. Wow. Impressive. Maddie says, Eric Point, buddy. El Shaddai is a Hebrew name for God, often translated as God Almighty or the Almighty. It's a powerful way to acknowledge God's vast power and all self-sufficiency and all sufficiency. The name has a few potential interpretations, including God of the mountain, God of sufficiency, God who nourishes. This is Castle's channel. Guys, I highly recommend Castle's channel. Eric, good point. Thanks for saying that. My channel is an after-work hobby. I love it. So Will's going to be back in the room in just a minute, and then we're going to hit some breath work again if anyone wants to join in. But you don't need to. Just continue talking and having fun. I hope you're having fun. And Willow is ready. So Willow, we're going to do a 5 by 5 breath. Breathing in for 5, exhaling for 5, and we're going to do it, of course, nasal breathing with the, hey, Michael, the Ujjayi breath. Hey, Chris. That ha sound. So Willow, and anyone else who wants to join in, if you could close your eyes and relax. And here's how we're going to relax. Just bring a gentle focus to the breath. You breathe in through the nose, you breathe out through the nose. Making no changes, not yet, just noticing the breath. And notice when you breathe in that your belly gently rises. And when you exhale through your nose, the belly falls back. Just like the ocean. Breathing in and the tide comes in, rises, the belly rises. Exhaling and the tide moves back, the belly falling. In through the nose, out through the nose. Continuing with the ocean theme, we're going to introduce that ha sound, the sound of the breath, the sound of the ocean. Ha. Breathing in, breathing out. This helps us extend the breath for longer periods of time. Just practice that for just a few moments. Very gentle ha sound. Now we're going to breathe in for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5. In for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5. And in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5. And in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5. And in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5. And in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5. Last breath for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5. And let go of the breath. Let it settle, returning to its original rhythm. Staying in that relaxed, comforted, and comfortable place. Safe. Fully in that relaxed state. And ready. When you are ready, open your eyes. I will see you in the chat. Hey, Lex, how are you, my friend? Chris, how's your weekend been? Eldog says, Eric, make me sleepy. Sooner or later, everyone falls asleep on my channel. Julie says, Skits, it's 11:45 where you are. I love seeing you, but I also love it if you could sleep. We got a dab from Sissy. A dab. Yes, I just dabbed. Willa says, thanks so much. You're welcome, Will. Willa, I've been talking about the importance of everyday breath work. 3 times a day. Breath work when you need it works great. Breath work when you don't need it, rewiring the brain, keeping us in that parasympathetic, that rest and digest state, so that when we need to go to that different state, we're able to do so and then come back down. Reach out to me. I'll do breath work every day. You and I, one-on-one. Kat says, thanks, Yogi. Thank you, Kat. Funny thing, when we were doing the breath work, when I was counting, I I thought about your comment about the gates, and I started smiling. Hey, Maddie, if you're still here, I missed you fishing yesterday. How was the fishing? Well, you're welcome. You know you always got a space here. It says, surely I'm going to go to sleep earlier tonight. I promise. I definitely won't be going to sleep at 3 a.m. again. Thank you, Shirley. It's nice having someone who is looking after us, isn't it, Skits? We're going to wrap things up in just a few minutes, guys. L-Dog says Eric's channel 100% safe place. Thank you, L-Dog, and thank you for help making it so. Shirley is sending some prayers for Willow, sending love. Thank you, Shirley. Who says, I've tried a lot today. It's been a bad day. Here's what's recommended. Breath work 3 times a day and therapeutically as needed. Elder Hook says, Yogi, the man you need during DMT. Man, one day we'll share some stories. I'll demonetize a live stream and we'll share some stories. Skits says, smile, everyone. Love you all. Love you too, Skits. Sissy says, sometimes we just like to bust through the gates like Kool-Aid Man, right, Cat and Jack? Why do I have an image of Cat and Jack busting through the gate and saying, oh, yeah? Poor man says, all natural DMT release. I could do holotropic breath work with you guys sometime. If you want to see if you could do it. Eldox, Yogi got a black book. I know Dan's got some stories to tell too. I know Sniper's got some stories to tell. And it sounds like L-Dog's got some stories to tell. Hey, CDP. It's been a while. CDP says, man, all kinds of people we haven't seen for a while. Just stop by. Have an amazing week ahead. You bunch of beautiful people. Stay blessed and be kind to yourselves and others. No one, guys, on all of the internets does that better than CDP. The entirety of his channel is to go around and leaving comments like that. He might stop in and say, hey, anyone need a sub? Speaking of which, CDP, if you have time to sub, if you go up ahead, Michael Burkeen, are you still here? If you drop the link for your channel, man, I love support channels. People who just want to be on YouTube to go from place to place, dropping a message of love, hitting the like, sometimes don't even like staying, just hitting a like, letting you know that they're there, leaving that comment. People like Danny, people like Scott Ferguson, people like Tim. The loving presence that we get from Anna and Shirley. This says, Dan, you legend, bro. Sorry, guys. I got a cat claw in my leg. Seppa says, CDP in the house, coming in here with positivity. Yep. Always love that. Shirley says, I'll find you if you go live skits. And I'll just scold you over there. Rebecca says, good night, everyone. Good night, Rebecca. I'm right behind you. CDP says, Mrs. Untold, sub, take care, everyone. Thank you, CDP. Snippy says, I accidentally moved it, my bad. My hands were wet. That's what I figured, that it was an accident. That's understood, Eric. It says we're getting ready for bed too. Good night, Rebecca. Good night, everyone. Have a wonderful sleep. I will see you in the new week. Love you. Love, love, love always. Absolutely. Breakpoint says, I'm so sorry. I'm just making sure I subscribe to him. CDP, sorry. Hey, Eric, you know he understands. Then he says, hey, still on. Glad I made it. Yep, we're just getting ready to wrap it up, though. I'm going to go to sleep as well. Tomorrow is your Friday, right, Kat? Eldot says, good night, Skitsboro. All right. I'm going to wrap things up, too. Then he says, hey, my buntastic sister. Then he says, could we end with breath work? We just did 10 rounds for Willow. Marlon, do you want to do the physiological sigh for 3 rounds? Julie says, it's okay, LP. Our mistakes can easily be corrected by those kids that know all of this computer stuff. This is true. All right. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Eldog says, good night, Yogi. You sold your piece. I like that, Eldog. Thank you. Good night, my friend. Eric Point says, another great live. Kat says, yes. Tomorrow is Friday. Kat says, good night. All right, we got a thumbs up from Marlon. 3 rounds. Physiological sigh. We breathe in through the nose. Hey, that could be a good sign. Ask Sissy. Sissy, are you still here? She talked about this on her live stream. Thank you, Mark. Awesome live, Eric. Been in the background. Take good care. Thanks for hanging out, Mark. Marlon says, if you're still here, brother, I love you. Sissy says, yes. Could you write a brief what you talked about for 666 and why it's a good thing? All depends on the translation that you get. Shirley says, take care, Mark. All right. Dundee, this is for you. Breathe in through the nose. Nice and deep. Sip in air. Exhale with a sigh. 3 rounds. Here we go. Breath number 1. Sigh all that energy out. Bringing in new energy with the next breath in. Breathing in. Sip. Exhale. One of the few breaths we do where we exhale through the mouth. Last breath, Marlon, breathing in. Sip in air. Exhale. Shake it off. And we're done. All right. Much appreciated you guys hanging out with me. Much appreciated the feedback that I got. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you, Kat. Sissy says 666, a reminder to nurture a relationship, both romantic and platonic, and to cultivate a positive mindset. If you've experienced heartbreak, 666 can be. Shirley says, Sissy, I really like that. Thank you. It can be a reminder that change is coming and that you're ready for new love and happiness, a gentle push from your angels to realign with your true self, find balance all in all aspects of your life, and embrace. Sissy, thank you so much. Positivity, embrace positivity and growth. I knew I read that for a reason. It stayed with me as so much of what you do stays with me. Guys, Soul Stars of TVF, beautiful channel. There's a reason. Our channels are a reflection of who we are, and Sissy is a beautiful, beautiful soul. Lucy says, so to Sissy, hey Lucy. Lucy, we're wrapping up. I hope to see you tomorrow, my friend. I appreciate you stopping in. Just goes to show you, in another tradition, what we think of as maybe not being so positive can be retranslated. Sissy says, thank you, Yogi. Love you. I love you too, my friend. Lucy took a long nap. Sometimes long naps are needed. I've been napping quite frequently. Michael says that's an interesting concept. Thanks, Soul Stars. However, when it comes to the paranormal, 666 isn't good. Sissy says, or Shirley says, but Yogi, we told you that you can go to bed and we'll just keep visiting. Did you do that one night? Except, I need my phone for the alarm. That's my alarm clock. I don't know the last time I woke up with my alarm. I'm normally up way before it's set. You never know. I need to figure out a way to do that. Maybe I'll get an extra phone, or maybe I'll just buy an alarm clock. Or maybe since I don't rely on it, I just won't set it. Sissy says, I love you all so much. We love you too. All right. Speaking of that, and you heard my cat saying, get to bed. Thanks again. And again, for the feedback, much appreciated, noted, and let's see how I can incorporate it. Michael's going to be live streaming tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central with my friend Sir Spookfest. I'll be on the lookout for you, Michael. That will be 11 for me. Okay, that works. Love you guys. Good night, Lucy. Thank you.